Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Lord Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I'm the best reporting on the Eagles. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, I gotta let you know. I'm always going to let you know because this is what I do, man. This video was brought to you by Print Champs, big Print Champs in the building. Make sure if you want to take advantage and tap into all that merchandise, you go ahead and do that. You use code Bulletin at checkout. You get your merchandise needs met, and you carry it that way, man. Listen, man. Before we get into the meat, the true meat and potatoes, I want to run this by y'all real quick, man. I think this is interesting, man. PFF, I really don't, be wanting to talk about. I'm not PFF, I'm sorry. WIP, I think they've been a little toxic this offseason, but, they doing their job. I really didn't want to talk about them guys, but, at the end of the day, man, some stuff, could be true. And this is one of those things that I feel like could be true. The Philadelphia Eagles, according to Howard Eskin, could be potentially, entertaining a reunion with one CJ Gardner-Johnson, and that would just be monumental to the secondary, man, if we was able to get him back, man. I don't know of a guy that got as many interceptions in a season than Gardner-Johnson since like Asante Samuel. So, maybe he's talking to somebody in the building. He is a free agent. I think he was over there for a one-year deal, if I'm not mistaken, for Detroit. But bringing Gardner-Johnson back, I think, would be a statement in terms of saying, we made a mistake by letting certain individuals go. Some of them guys being TJ Edwards, you know what I mean? And we should have just spent some money and kept some core guys intact. That way we really could have had a true back-to-back run at things rather than being a one and done in the postseason last year. So, yeah, man, the combine was yesterday, man, and some guys stood out. A lot of the guys that stood out, if you're familiar with my draft board, I think I got it up here somewhere, yeah. So this was my draft board, man. I feel like this is my mock draft. I feel like, the Philadelphia Eagles were going to look at some of these guys. I felt good about some of these guys on this draft board. Obviously, your first four picks, obviously, in this case, in this mock draft, I felt really, really good about. And, it's exciting to see already in day one that one of these guys, excelled or exceeded expectations, man. So let's talk about it, man. We had Penn State Chop Robinson, man. Showed that he was a freak athlete, man. A lot of people already knew that. I knew that, which is why I put him on my draft board. But, in the combine, he came out there with a 4.49. You know what I mean? His 10-yard split was immaculate. And his broad jump at a 10.8, that just speaks volumes to the athleticism of him. So let's talk about it for a second, man. The 10-yard split of Robinson, 4.48 40-yard dash, wasn't just the fastest of the day. It was the quickest of any edge rusher over 250 pounds who has ever exploded out the gates at the combine. Wow. Daniel Jeremiah of NFL Network compared Robinson's game to Yannick Ngakoue, but he blew away the former Jags rusher's numbers. You know what I mean? Make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? You talk about a Hassan Reddick not being there. You talk about, exploring offers for Hassan Reddick. When you got guys coming out of the draft with this type of athleticism and you could get them on a rookie deal, I think that, it's something to entertain. I'm not a fan of, paying guys and then, giving them the boot when a new class come out. But, you can't be mad at the business model if that is the business model. It's easier to find certain positions than it is others. You know what I mean? Let's get on the Dallas Turner of Alabama, a 4.47. You know what I'm saying? Did his job. I like the numbers, 10.7 broad jump. They said that he could potentially be one of the first guys. I'm sorry, where is he at? Turner's argument to be the top pass rusher of the 2024 NFL draft was made on the field at Alabama, but he only helped his case this Thursday. After recording the only vertical jump of the day over 40 inches, he laid down a 4.46 40-yard dash. The freak athleticism is coming out, man. This might be the first edge rusher off the board, but who knows where he'll go. You know what I mean? This could be the first name off the board. Like I talk about the edge rushers first, because I feel like, replacing Hassan Reddick is a real true point of emphasis for the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what I mean? Replacing Hassan Reddick, I just don't see us bringing him back on a deal. I'll be surprised. But, at the end of the day, that's what these guys get paid to do, man. These guys get paid the big bucks to go out there and make the roster better at all costs. You know what I mean? And I think the guy that stole the show, a lot of people weren't expecting us to be looking at, a defensive tackle, but Braden Fisk, defensive tackle out of Florida State. I say we looking at him because I just know my team. You know what I mean? I know how my team rock. I know how my team operate. If you looked at this guy, you know what I mean, Thursday at the combine, you saw this guy moving with grace. This guy got twinkle toes if I ever seen him. And with the uncertainty of Fletcher Cox and what he's going to do, you know what I mean? I could see the Philadelphia Eagles leaning toward defensive tackle or something like that if he slips down. But he made his case real strong to be like a top 15, top 10 guy. Fisk doesn't have the longest arms or ideal length, but he won often at FSU due to his motor and quickness. Those traits showed up in Indianapolis where his 4.7 40-yard dash was the best amongst interior linemen at the event, as were his 33.5-inch vert and 117-inch broad jumps. His numbers earned him a Geno Atkins comparison from NFL Network. Man, a dog. You know what I mean? I seen this guy move, and I'm like, man, it's hard to pass up a guy like this, even though you got Jalen Carter. You know what I mean? Even though you have a Jordan Davis, it'll be hard to pass up this type of talent if we keeping it a bean. It's hard to pass up this, man. But, you know, he really went out there and showed out, you know what I mean, and showed up for sure. My last guy that I think, you know, that turned some heads. Let me find this profile real quick so I can throw it on the TV. I think it was Murphy the second, if I'm not tripping. Yeah. It was Murphy the second, man. I really like what I got out of him, man. I like the strength. I like the speed. I like a lot of things about this kid, man. You know, a big fella, you know, and him and Braden were at the top of the list in terms of 40-yard dash. You know what I mean? Coming around 300 pounds. A 33-inch vert is wild. Murphy is a big fella to be putting down a 4.87 40-yard dash. The 297 pounder then rounded out his day with an impressive 33-inch vertical jump and some violent reps in the position drill. I mean, this guy was smacking cones down, you know what I mean? Like he had a personal vendetta against him, you know what I mean? And these guys stand out to me because not only did most of my standouts mirror what I got off of Yahoo's website, but these guys stood out to me because of their positions. You know what I mean? The positions stand out to me because the Eagles are a team that often likes to look at defensive tackles. They are a team that likes to look at edge rushers. You know what I mean? Linebacker has not really been their thing. You know what I mean? Edge rushers and defensive tackles putting up these type of numbers. It doesn't give me the warm and fuzzy about Howie Roseman doing what anybody else wants him to do, only doing rather than what we expect them to do. So, you know, it's looking good, man. You know, the prospects are coming. The prospects are showing out. They're stepping up. They're making a name for themselves. And these are some of my top 4 guys from day one. As you know, 3:00 today, we have the second round. More to come. I think the schedule will be defensive backs today. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I like what I see. And I also understand you see the combine makes you understand more the mindset of some of these teams when they say, you know, we can get somebody on a rookie deal. It makes you understand more because the athletes are getting better. The cap number is getting higher. You can go out there and get an already proven free agent in a lot of situations, or you could just draft somebody with a high motor to do a job like go and get the quarterback. So we got to see how this thing pan out. But these are my guys. Let me know what you think in the comments, man.